Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Alright guys, we have a pick a card here and we're going to find out what people like about you. What qualities about you, what is it about you that people are just like, whoa, look at her or him, or wow, this person's amazing, awesome sauce. So we have 3 different piles here of cards. We have 3 different crystals for you to choose from. First one here is a crackle quartz, and it has all these little crackles inside of it. This is done by, I think, heating it up and then putting it into the cold, so it's like, which is weird. And then we have blue apatite from number 2. This is blue for your throat, for communication, speaking your truth. And then we have number 3, which is the amethyst, and it's got some little dust in there that I can't get out, but it's still pretty. I just got to use my brush, my little crystal brush. Still in there. I gotta soak them. Gotta soak it. So if you want the dusty amethyst, pick number 3. And we're gonna get you guys set up here and start off with pile number 1. And we're gonna find out what people like about you. You really know how to dance. 130. Alright, so we're gonna start off with the Sacred Power Oracle. And let's see what you got here. So I feel like with self-love, energy balance, intimacy, reflection, and boundaries coming through, you're probably somebody that is taking care of yourself, you know what I mean? And people may respect that. They may feel like you're somebody that is very strong, very powerful. It's like, you know, not to be messed with. People are going to be like, this person has some pretty strong boundaries up. They're you know, respecting themselves. They have a lot of, you know, you have a lot of self-respect. You have a lot of power. You have a lot of influence, I feel. So people know not to press your buttons. They know not to try to push you. I feel like if somebody was like trying to get you to do something you don't want to do, it's like basically talking to a brick wall. And you may not have always been that way, or you may, you know, it may struggle with different people, but I feel like for the most part, people look at you and think of you as having, you know, this wall around you, and they may be like, I don't know if I'm going to get into that wall. I don't know if I'm going to break that wall down. I don't even know if I want to attempt to get through that wall. So you could have some earth energy in you, be a little stubborn, you know, and, you know, just come across as very strong. I think it's a good thing that you have healthy boundaries and to be, you know, respectful of yourself and your time and your energy and not doing things you don't want to do. And I feel like for some of you, it's like, I feel like you may struggle with it, but people may see you as actually having good boundaries. Or either that, it's been that you've been really focused on balancing yourself and focused on self-love, so you're now creating these healthy boundaries. Because I can feel some of you being like, I don't know, I don't really have that good of boundaries, and some of you are like, yep, that's me, I'm a strong, you know, biatch. But I feel like if you're somebody that's struggled with this, it's there for you. You just have to, you know, focus on that self-love and focus on balancing things out and saying no without, you know, feeling badly about it. But for the most part, I feel like the people who are really going to resonate with this are the ones that, you know, have these strong boundaries in place, or people just see you as having those strong boundaries in place. And then we have energy balance. So I feel like when people meet you, when they come up to you, when they, you know, connect with your energy, they feel like you're balanced. They probably feel like this, you know, like powerful energy from you again, and that could be why they may be hesitant to try to break down that wall that they sense around you. You could just be really like spiritually protected and really good energetically, so it's like boom, right in your face. And people may, you know, some people may know, okay, like that's very strong energy, I'm not going to really try to push anything there. People may be intimidated by you, and you may not even realize it, you know, because this energy definitely is coming through strong. But with the energy balance, I feel like it's for some of you because your energy is very powerful. If you're balanced and you're, you know, good within your energy, your aura is going to be strong, your energy is going to be strong. So people may look at you and be like, wow, this person's really bright, this person's really powerful, this person's really, you know, in their power. And you may not be feeling that way inside, but I definitely feel like when people meet you, they, you know, get that sense from you. You know, I get people who get weird with me and I'm like, what? And I'm like, I didn't do nothing. I didn't say, I'm not good with boundaries, but people will hesitate to ask me stuff, or, get nervous or intimidated about stuff. And it can be because of your energy and have nothing to do with who you truly are as a person. You may be a pushover, but your energy gives off a different vibration. So it could be that when you first meet people, they're like, boom, but then after they get to know you, they get to see, oh, okay, the boundaries aren't as high as I thought they were. Maybe I can get through those walls. But I feel like there are some of you out there that are just really in a good place. And it could have taken you some time and some work, because we got the self-love card here. And the self-love is, focusing on yourself. So I feel like when people meet you, they like how you treat yourself. They like how you're in your power. They like the light that you shine. They like that you're just this beautiful, bright beacon of energy. And I feel like you may be one of those people that kind of wears your sensuality on the surface. There's some people out there, it doesn't matter what you wear, if you got your makeup on or you got your hair a mess, whatever, it's like people will find you to be very sexually attractive. They'll find you to be very bright, very brilliant, very powerful. So I feel like you're one of those people that you don't really have to try hard to get some attention and for people to like you. So I definitely feel like, the opposite sex is probably very attracted to you. You may get a lot of suitors, you may get a lot of attention, you may get a lot of flirty people who want to, talk to you. But I think some of them could be a little intimidated to say something, especially if you're very beautiful, because sometimes when you're very beautiful and you have powerful energy, people get weird and they get intimidated and they may hold themselves back in your presence. So you may not feel like people are noticing you, but I feel like they are. And if anything, they're kind of like, nervous to approach you, or they may assume that you're already taken, or they may assume that you're just going to say no to them because they think you're, on this pedestal. I definitely feel like this is something that would be like intimidating for a lot of people, is to have this beautiful balanced boundary type of energy emanating all this self-love, being sexy on top of it all, is probably something that people like and are magnetically drawn to you. But I feel like they kind of get nervous around you. So you may like people and be like, why don't they talk to me more? Why aren't they like being more open with me? Why don't they come forward more? Why don't they, whatever? And I think it's because of the energy and the light that you emit, in this like vibration and frequency that you have going on is very powerful. And then we have reflection. So I feel like you could be an empath, and what I'm getting from this energy is that you may have the ability to kind of mirror people. And it's something that empaths do. It's like we walk into a room, we feel the energy of the room, we feel the people in the room, we feel what's going on energetically, and we kind of like adapt to it. So if you walk into the room full of people who are kind of sad, it's like you kind of sink into that sadness. If you walk into a room full of a bunch of happy, like, yeah, everybody's in a good mood, you fall into that category, and you like your energy rises and you just kind of mirror what's going on around you. And it's the empath inside of you, I feel, that kind of reflects things. Now what I am picking up too is that there could be somebody out there that is like an intimate connection that is your reflection, and they may just be wanting to make themselves known and letting you know that they do feel this way about you, that they see you as very powerful, brilliant, beautiful, and they could be intimidated, and that may be causing some issues. They may be held back and guarded when it comes to actually communicating how they feel towards you. But I definitely feel like that's something that people may just do in general with you, is have a hard time communicating how they feel in your presence, which is, I think, a good feeling, but they just get a little nervous around you. So then we're going to use toxic triggers here, and we have empath. So I definitely felt like that energy. It says your extra sensitive soul is both a blessing and a curse. So I feel like that's true. I think it's hard sometimes to be an empath because, like I said, you can walk into a room and feel everybody's energy. And if you go out into the world and into like Walmart and everybody's all pissy and miserable and crazy, it's going to take you down and it's going to drain you, and people drain you. So having these boundaries is a must, and that's something that empaths have to learn over a while. That's why I was picking up, for some of you, you may not be so good with these boundaries. People may expect you to have them, but I feel like sometimes you don't necessarily know how to protect yourself in the best way. But it looks like you're learning how to, and you're learning how to balance this energy and love yourself in a way that you're establishing these better boundaries. but it's hard to go into a place and come out and feel good because you're literally being drained by everybody around you. So I feel like you're probably somebody that needs to spend a lot of time alone, somebody that, you know, is very sensitive to other people. You can feel what's going on with other people. You know when people are lying to you. You know when people are, you know, you probably know if people like you or don't like you, and you can just sense it. But it's very draining to be an empath because you're constantly, you know, transmuting, you're constantly feeling, you're constantly, you know, just in that energy of taking on other people's stuff. So I feel like other people may like this about you, though. They may like that you're an empath. They may, you know, feel that sensitivity from you. They can feel that you actually care, that you're actually feeling what they feel. So I think that, you know, it can be difficult at times, and it may be hard for you to keep those energetic boundaries up at times, but I feel like this is something that people actually do like about you because you have that sensitive soul. You have that part of you that, you know, just emanates this light. You're like comforting to people, you're warm to people, and with wisdom, I feel like they sense something about you that, you know, other people don't necessarily have. It says trauma has given you perspective and wisdom to assist others. So you could have been through a lot of stuff. I find that a lot of empaths or healers or light workers or starseeds, however you want to label yourself, they go through a lot, and it's because they're here to help other people. So the more you go through, the more people you'll be able to help, because say, you know, you only get abused in one area, or you only go through difficulties in one place, you know, turning around to be a healer, you only have that perspective to come from. But if you go through a lot of different things, you're going to have a lot of different perspectives on, you know, how to overcome abuse, how to overcome difficulty, how to overcome, you know, these boundary issues, or how to balance your energy, or how to love yourself more, how to deal with like being a sensual goddess and an empath, and dealing with the physical world, and just dealing with this energy of like walking in and mirroring a whole room and taking on everybody else's stuff. It's feel like you have a lot of perspective, you have a lot of wisdom, you can see through the darkness, and people can sense that about you. They sense this wisdom, they sense this sensitivity that you have, and it's kind of like you're like that lone wolf energy, but they like that about you. They like that you stand on your own and, you know, do what you got to do on your own. So I feel like there's this sense with you that it's like you're always moving forward. This is how people look at you. You may not feel that way. You may be looking back at the past at stuff, but I feel like people look at you as, you know, like that you're not looking back because you're not going that way. I think they look at you as somebody that is going after your passion and your purpose. So you could be somebody that, you know, in the eyes of others, people really see you moving forward. They see you, you know, passionate about what you're doing. They see you living your purpose, living your dream, living your desires. And I think this makes people really drawn to you, and they look at you as like an inspiration. They look at you as somebody that they would aspire to be like. You may at times not feel this way just because I am seeing this empath thing. I know it's hard. You may feel good I feel like it depends on what's going on around you. I feel like it depends on who you're around too. And I think that's why those boundaries are important. If there's people around that are draining you or messing with you or taking from your energy, it's going to be like, it's going to be hard for you to move on and just be like, la la la, everything's fine. But I think everything you go through does give you new perspective and wisdom, so you keep moving forward and you keep healing and you keep growing and ascending. And I think that's part of your purpose, is to deal with this stuff, is to learn those boundaries, is to learn self-love, is to balance out your energy, to be that beautiful, sexy, you know, person that's passionate about their world and just keeps moving. But I think at times you could feel stuck. At times you could feel a little sad. At times it could just be overwhelming and draining. At times, you know, these traumas that you've been through or have to go through can weigh on you, but other people see you as like a force to be reckoned with. Like they're like, whoa, this person's, you know, going through X, Y, and Z, and they're still doing what they got to do. They're still moving forward. They're not letting shit hold them back. So you're an inspiration to others. And then with the ocean of emotion, we have passion. So I feel like people, when they, you know, connect with you, they again see that passion inside of you. They see you living your purpose, living after your passion. They see you passionate about life. They see you passionate about your dreams, about your desires, about whatever it is that you are doing at this time. So again, I feel like you may not always feel very passionate. You may not always feel 100% great, but I feel like people look at you And they see you like that. They see you as that free spirit. They see you here to enjoy life and to love freely and to just do what feels good to do. And this says, you make me feel things I can't even describe. So I feel like people kind of feel that way in your presence. It's like you make them think, you make them feel a certain way. And I feel like there's a confidence that you emit that you don't even really necessarily know about. So, it says everything will work out for us. I just know it. But I feel like when people look at you, they see you as being confident. They see you as having this strength that inspires them. They see you holding on to light and passion and desire for your world. And they see you as courageous, like knowing that whatever does go wrong, whatever trauma you do face, you can fix it. You can heal it. It's like whatever they're going to reflect at me, I'm going to be able to rise up through it. I'm going to be able to deal with that shadow. And with this manipulation, I'm picking up that for some of you, you may be, I feel like this may be for women with men. This is what I'm getting, is that some men may feel like you'd be able to manipulate them well because you're very sexy, because you're very, charming. You may be able to kind of like shapeshift a little bit into whatever they're wanting, and you may work on their passion and desire so they could feel like, a little nervous around you, like you're going to manipulate them. And I don't think you do. I just think that men may have that fear that you're so beautiful and you're so, powerful that may be intimidating to them. They may feel like, I know what you want from me. Like they could just assume, because sometimes when you're good looking, people will assume things that really doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, she's good looking, she must be after his money. You know what I mean? Like they just say the rudest, craziest things about people. And I feel like that's the type of stuff you might get at certain times. But I definitely feel like even though men might feel that way, they like it. You know what I mean? They like that you'd be able to kind of mess with them. They like that you'd be able to get your way with them. That you'd be like that person that could be like, well, but please. And they'd be like, okay. But I think they can sense that about you, like that you have that strength, you have that beauty, you have that magnetism about you that would make somebody be like, okay, even though they know what you're doing or what you're wanting, they kind of like that, mysterious, sexy, like little vixen energy that you've got. And I think it probably only comes out for certain people. Maybe it's only with one certain person, but I feel like there's that type of energy that you emit. But then you have, I love the sweetness of your soul and the taste of your kisses, sweet. So I feel like people just see you as being sweet as well. So there's like two sides to you. You've got the side that's like, a little devilish. You got that little grin, you got that little smile, you got those little eyes that are like dee dee dee. But then when people get to know you, or it depends on your mood, probably they see that you're just a sweet, beautiful soul, somebody that is very tasty, and I'm sure you're not walking around kissing everybody, but you leave like a sweetness around you leave a sweetness with people that you meet. So there's definitely multiple versions of you, I feel, and it's probably because of that empath energy. It's like you're a little bit of everything. You've got a little bit of that dark side and you got a lot of that light side, and people like that you can adapt and go back and forth. They see you again as being able to kind of do whatever you want, having a lot of strength, having a lot of confidence. And it would take confidence to be able to pull off the sweet and it's like the sweet and the sour, but it's not even. It's like a little nasty and a little good girl. It's like a bad girl and a good girl mixed in together. So I think that there's a confidence that you emit that people are very driven, and passionate about. They see you being driven and passionate, and they like that. They're very, it makes their passion and desire increase for you. Then we have Divine Feminine, honoring the ways of the sacred feminine, cycles of rebirth. So I feel like many of you are probably a Divine Feminine energy, and you're probably, again, somebody that, people see as moving forward, like you're constantly in the cycles of rebirth. Like maybe you're reinventing yourself a lot, or you're always coming up with new ideas, you're always coming up with new things to do. And with all this purple energy, I feel like you could be very intuitive, somebody that has like psychic abilities. Your third eye is probably wide open, your crown is probably wide open, so you could have a lot of intuitive hits as this empath. A lot of empaths are very intuitive anyways, so I feel like those are things that you have, and people can sense that about you. They can see that you're somebody that can see through the bullshit. You can see through that darkness. You have that perspective, you have that vision that comes from somewhere else. And with the starseed, it says awakening and shifting collective consciousness, star child. So I feel like many of you are starseeds, and you are here to help shift the collective consciousness. But starseeds, you know, they give off their own vibration, and a lot of them do have this like empath energy. So I feel like you're probably somebody that, you know, people can feel like this otherworldly presence about. They feel that you can help awaken and shift the collective. You know, they can feel like this light coming out of you. They know there's something about you that's different than others. And with the free spirit, I feel like you do probably have a free spirit, but I think at times it can get stifled. At times it can get a little, you know, hard to be, you know, enjoying and loving everything. But the more that you're loving yourself, the more you have those boundaries, the more you're just embracing all of these parts of yourself, I think the more freedom you're going to have to enjoy life and to just love and to be who you are meant to be. And I definitely feel like for some of you, you are, you know, twin flame divine feminines or soulmate divine feminines with that intimacy, the divine feminine and loving freely. So that could confirm for some of you that this is your pile, that you are the divine feminine for somebody, and this may be how they feel about you. But basically, I feel like you're a good person all around, and you probably had a lot of stuff that wasn't so easy to deal with, but people see you dealing with it well, even if you don't feel like you are, and you're doing good to move forward and head towards your passion, you know. So keep on that path, and hopefully this made sense to some of you, and thank you very much. In Munay, namaste. Okay, so we're going to move on to pile number 2 here, and we're finding out what people like about you, what they, you know, notice about you when they meet you. I'm using a couple of different decks, and we're going to start off with the Sacred Power Oracle. So, let's see what we got here. Alright, so I'm getting a little bit of a mixture of energy, and I am noticing you got this here with the yin-yang type of energy. So I feel like you're kind of like a mixed bag. I think it depends on what type of mood you're in, or what time of day it is, you know, when people meet you, because I feel like some people might meet you and be like, oh wow, you know, see you as kind of like this free spirit, somebody that's like right in your face and like confident and communicative and just like compassionate and all of that. But then there's another part of you that I feel like is kind of held back, like another version of yourself that's kind of in the shadow here. And you see how there's a mask on this, you know, it's like I feel like there's 2 versions of you. There's like a version that some people get, and then there's a version that other people get. Or it could be that there's a version that people who meet you get, but then there's like a different version that you truly are. You know what I mean? Like when people first meet you, you might show them this version of yourself. You might show them this mask, but underneath the mask, behind this energy here, is the shadow self, or the real you that's underneath the surface, that's kind of under this energy of retreat. So I'm getting like a weird type of energy where it's like it's hard to necessarily just read it straight up. I feel like for some of you, people might see you as, you know, a little like reserved, a little held back, a little like, you know, innocent nervousness type of energy. But then there's others out there that would probably say the complete opposite. So maybe it's like when you first meet people, you might be a little bit shy and timid. It's like you are, you know, hidden, and you might put this mask on when you first meet people and kind of hold yourself back. And, you know, once you get to know people, you might transform and communicate a little bit differently. Like you take the mask off and you show them who you truly are, and you might be a little bit more communicative, a little bit more, you know, like happy, like, you know, more in someone's like energy, and like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I missed you. Oh my God. Like, and I can be myself, and I can be more of who I really am. But I feel like when you first meet people, they don't really get that side of you. But regardless of all that, I feel like what people like about you when they first meet you is that you're very compassionate, and they can feel, you know, that energy of compassion and love. Like it doesn't matter if you're, you know, wearing the mask or not. There's a sense of compassion, a sense of peace. It's like that Kuan Yin energy where it's like just very loving, very, very gentle type of energy. And I feel like yeah, I feel like it depends on who you're with. Like if you're with your true friends, they get to see that goofy side of you. They get to see like the happier, like more outgoing side of you, and they like that about you. But the people who just meet you, who don't know you that well, they like your, reserved, quiet nature. They like, you being this type of presence of compassion and love and, just peace and tranquility. I feel like you have an ability to be both. You have an ability to be very tranquil, very relaxed, very calming, but underneath there is that like little wild woman that's ready to come out and have fun with the friends and have joy and have, excitement. So when you first meet people, I feel like it's almost like a retreat type of energy that you go into, where your communication, see how she's looking down? I feel like you may not really be the type that like looks people straight in the eye when you first meet them. You got to get to know them a little bit, but once you do, you open up and your true self comes through. But they like both versions of you. I'm not getting that there's like a badness here. I just think that there's like a duality here. There's two of you, which is normal because a lot of us are like that. Like I know for myself, when I don't know somebody that well, or if it like I haven't had a lot of time to like spend with them, I can get a little nervous and a little quiet and a little silent. But then once I like feel comfortable, I'm like, woo, I'm a weirdo. So I feel like you may have that ability to go back and forth, but people like both sides of you. So yeah, and I feel like the way that you communicate, there's something about that too, and I feel like it's transformed over time. I feel like you, again, may have been very shy as a child. You could still have that shyness, but I feel like you've gotten better at communicating. I think you've gotten better at expressing yourself, and I am noticing the star child here, so some of you could be star seeds, and I know the star seeds can have a hard time sometimes, opening up and expressing themselves and feeling comfortable around people. But I do feel like you have a group of true friends, like a community that supports you, that loves you, people that you can feel like at home with, because it says your home is in the stars, which can make you feel homesick. It can make you feel kind of like reserved. It can make you feel like you just want to retreat and, kind of hide away from the world. But I also feel like there's a part of you that's more joyful. There's a part of you that does want to come out and create and, create the reality of your dreams. And it says joy comes from within. Stop seeking outside of yourself. So I feel like when you go within to that compassionate, beautiful person you are inside, you find more joy, you find more peace, you find more light to share. And I think people really like that side of you. They like the joy that you emit. They like the light that you emit. They like, this ability that you have to kind of embody two different versions of yourself. And I feel like you've probably grown a lot over time. So those who are very close to you have probably seen you transform, and have gotten to see both sides of you. They've gotten to communicate with you on deeper levels, and I feel like you probably have depth to you that not a lot of people get to understand or hear about, because you may have perspectives that you're a little bit even intimidated to share with people, because you may not know how they're going to feel about what you have to say. But I definitely feel like you emit this like vibration of joy, you emit this vibration of love, and people, feel that joy when they're with you. They feel that presence, emanating from you, which makes sense with a star child. The star seeds are kind of like supercharged empaths, and, people flock to you. They may tell you their whole life story without you ever asking. They may, just dump out all their problems on you without you, even saying boo. And I feel like you're good at dealing with that, and people like that they feel safe to tell you everything. That's like, again, you have that compassion. So even if you don't know somebody, if they come to you and they're like, oh my God, you'll sit there and listen to them and give them your input when they're done. But I feel like you're a good sounding board for people at times, or you're just kind of a good, retriever of energy, probably a transmuter, somebody that receives what the people around you are going through and like transmutes it, transforms it, and then shifts that energy into something better, and brings energy of joy to people, helps people to like release the stuff that they're holding on to. So you bring a lot of comfort to people that are uncomfortable. You bring a lot of light to people that are in the dark. I definitely feel like you do something about this duality here. I feel like you're naturally like talented with transmuting duality, taking the dark and turning it into the light, you know, and just taking the bad and turning it into good, seeing like the joy where there's sadness, seeing like the hope where there's been none. You know, I think you just have an ability to see the brighter side of things, and that really helps other people around you. And that's what people really like about you, is that I feel like you can bring them joy when they feel nothing but sadness and feel like there's no reason to have any joy. So it's a beautiful energy that you have for sure. And I definitely feel like you're probably from one of the star races, and you may want to look into that and figure out which one, because that's going to impact your personality a lot. But I feel like people, you know, starseeds in general, they just, you know, have those natural healing abilities. There's some of them that are more out there, more outgoing, more vocal than others, but I feel like that's like you have both. It's like you have the outgoing and the internal, like, quiet reserve side, and I feel like that may mean that you have more than one star system that you originated from. Like you could be a little bit of, like, you know, Arcturian, and a little bit of Andromedan, a little bit of Pleiadian, a little bit of Sirian, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it may make you to be very good at, you know, transforming and transmuting and helping with all of this. But I think people notice that about you, and they notice your ability to create the reality of your dreams. So I feel like when you're focused on joy, when you're focused on the light, when you're focused on the good stuff, and you're not wearing a mask, and you're just in that place of compassion, and you're allowing yourself to retreat away from things that don't work well, you do really good at creating. And I think people see that about you. They see that you know, when you think about something or you say you're going to do something, it's like you do it, you create it, and you make stuff happen. So let's see what we have from the Ocean of Emotion now. Yeah, so you inspire my mind and fill me with light creative. I feel like you do this for people. Yeah, look, your light illuminates my mind and soul inspired. So I feel like you have a creative energy about you. You may even be creative, like you could paint or draw or do something creative, because you get the create card as well. So it's like you may literally create things with your hands, or you may just create with your energy. It's like you create change, you create like peace, you create love, you create light, you create something that is beautiful, and people get inspired by what you create. And I feel like a lot of it comes from your inner internal light. You know, there's something about you that I feel like has probably transformed too. It says I'm not the same person anymore, and I really feel that, like, you have the ability to transform, like, quickly though. Like sometimes it's like people may not know what version they're getting of you, or that you just keep evolving into the new version of yourself, and you just keep creating and keep creating and keep creating and becoming your best self, becoming this healthy, beautiful, powerful person that's growing, that's overcoming difficulties, that's overcoming duality and darkness. And you inspire people. They love that about you, that you keep evolving and you keep changing. It's like just when they think they know what's going on with you, or just when they think they know, you know, what you're up to, it's like, boom, here I am with something else. I'm creating this, I'm doing this, I'm going to do that. And they like it because it inspires them to do more in their lives. It helps them to feel like they would like to become, you know, more healthy. And it's the integrity card says I'm trying to do the right thing. I feel like you inspire people to try to do the right thing in their own life. You know, it's like they see you stick to your word. They see you create, you know, change. They see you creating this sacred transformation. They see you becoming a new version of yourself. And that's making them, you know, want to be in their integrity, their truth. When they say they're going to do something, they want to follow through and do it. And with the faithful energy, I feel like people look at you as like something they can be faithful in, that like they can trust in you. They know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. They know that you are going to do the right thing, and that you aren't somebody that necessarily needs to change, but that you just keep changing anyways, and you just keep growing and healing and ascending. And I think that really attracts a lot of, you know, people to you, whether they're very close people or not. Depends on how you know, show up with them. But it doesn't matter, because you're constantly transforming. So even how you show up with them, it's like it increases over time. But I definitely feel like you're a person of integrity, a person of truth, a person of faith. This says, I know we will find our way back to each other in divine time. So you could be dealing with somebody or a situation in your life that you know things are going to work out in divine time. Like, you may not be one of those people that gets all like sucked into like, oh no, it's never going to happen. I mean, you could probably have your days of darkness because you definitely have the duality here. But I feel like you don't let yourself stay there. You inspire yourself to rise out of any darkness. You inspire yourself to stay faithful and true to yourself, which is something that people really like about you. They like to see that what you say is what you're going to do, and what you do is aligned with your actions. It's aligned with your words. It's aligned with your thoughts. It's like aligned with your energy. You're just constantly, proving to yourself and to others that you can do more and be more. And that's helping them to feel like they can do more and be more because they're watching you do it. They're watching you grow, and that's helping them to want to grow. So you're definitely like this little beacon of light that inspires people to get more creative, that inspires people to get more, healthy all around on all levels. And this says you are here to overcome and growing. So again, I get this energy of like, you're like this lotus flower that's constantly blossoming and blooming and expanding. And more of those petals are opening up to the sun, opening up to the light. And people see that about you. They see you, constantly blossoming and blooming like a beautiful flower. And I think that it's inspiring for them. You may have some people, I'm getting that you may have some people that may get a little jealous, or people that, try to like take you down a notch. They may try to hit you out of your place of compassion. They may try to, mess with your peace and don't want you to necessarily be as happy or joyful, because misery likes company. So I'm picking up that there may be some people that you need to put a mask on, or that you need to kind of protect yourself from, because you can sense that if you were to be like who you truly are and in your light and in your power and growing, it would trigger them to be like, oh, and they may say things or do things that try to take you out of that light. So I think you know what you're doing with your mask. I think and I don't think it's like a bad mask, because sometimes when we see people wearing a mask, it's like, are they lying? Especially having the truth here. But I feel like you don't put on a mask to lie or to like manipulate. I think you put on the mask to protect yourself, but you're still in a place of integrity, staying true to yourself. You just know who and where you should be giving your time and energy to, and what you wanting to do, to stay in a place of integrity with yourself, which is most important, because a lot of people, will get manipulated by the presence of other people and then change their tune just because somebody else is there. So with the High Priestess, it says, trust your inner knowing, share your sacred feminine essence. I feel like you do have that innate inner knowing. You have that strong intuition. And I feel like when people meet you, they sense that. They sense that you have that like High Priestess, type of like, this just like priestess energy. You're like the goddess. You're like the energy of the divine feminine. Somebody that is constantly evolving, somebody that has sacred wisdom and knowledge to share. So yeah, look at that. It says assist others to access ancient wisdom. I feel like you do this and people feel it coming off of you. They feel that you know things that they don't know, that you can do things that they can't do, that you see stuff that they don't see, or that you hear stuff that they don't hear. I think it depends on your gifts, like which one of your gifts is most predominant, how this really shows up for you. But some of you could be writing, some of you could be, doing automatic writing, some of you could be doing like trance channeling, some of you could be doing just channeling anyways, because we're constantly channeling. People seem to like think that like through channeling it's like this big difficult thing to do, but we're always channeling. Like when you're doing the dishes, you're channeling the energy needed to do the dishes. When you're vacuuming, you're channeling energy needed to do the vacuuming. When you're going to work and you put on your happy face and you're like, oh my god, hey, yeah, that's great, oh my, can I get you anything else, you're channeling a different version of yourself to do those things. So if you can, tune yourself up a little bit, you can channel in other things. And I feel like some of you are already doing it, and some of you may be headed in that direction where you will be channeling, more consciously than you may be right now. Because I definitely feel like you're already channeling, but some of you may just not know to what degree you're helping other people to access ancient wisdom. You may not know to what degree you're helping other people to grow, and you may not know to the degree of this High Priestess energy that you emit. But I definitely feel like you have that like goddess type of presence that people are either really drawn to and love, or they get jealous and triggered and, you know, try to like take you down, or they get, you know, bitchy and miserable, and you probably don't know what you did or why they're mad, or, you know, does that person not like me? You could ask other people. And it's just always trust your gut, because again, I feel like you have that inner knowing. So you know if somebody's being truthful with you, or you know if somebody's being fake with you. But you may sometimes doubt yourself because, you know, we do that, especially when people are being fake. We don't want to believe that people are being the way that they're really being. So always trust yourself. Know that people do respect you. The ones that matter are the ones that, you know, are going to stick around, and the ones that don't matter will, you know, weed themselves out. So you don't have to worry about, you know, molding yourself to be anything other than who you are. But I definitely feel like you're multifaceted. There's like more than one version of you that exists, and people really like that about you, and people like that you're creating this beautiful reality for yourself and showing other people how to create a beautiful reality and how to grow and do these things, like, you know, share ancient wisdom that you probably don't even realize you're sharing when you're sharing it. It's like the words that you speak holds wisdom. The energy that you emit holds that vibration and frequency. So you're constantly, you know, coming from like this Kuan Yin presence, but I don't think you necessarily see it yourself. And that may be why this is here too. It's time for you to take off the mask and realize how sacred and powerful you are. For some of you, I think for some of you, you may kind of already know that you have these abilities and that you've been doing this stuff, you know, more consciously than some of the others. But if you haven't really felt like this high priestess energy, you haven't felt like that goddess type of presence inside of you, I feel like you need to take the mask off and let that horse run wild. You know, let that part of yourself come out. Look up when you talk to people. You know, maintain the compassion, the love, and all of that, and take time to retreat and, you know, get away from things and just create what feels good for you to create. But I definitely feel like coming out of your shell, you know, if you haven't already, would be good for a lot of you. And it's going to help you to stay inspired and help you to illuminate your life, you know, and to be creative and to just like stay faithful and be in that place of integrity and truth to yourself for your transformation of becoming the most healthiest version of yourself. So that seems to be the energies surrounding you. And, you know, I think people just really like you. And I do get the sense that like some people, they don't, but who, you know, none of us have like an entire world that loves us. So, you know, the people that don't like you, just know that it's likely coming from jealousy or just coming from a place of they don't understand. But the right people will understand, and the right people are going to love all versions of you that show up, and they're going to love the wisdom and the teachings that you share with them, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. So hopefully this made some sense to some of you. If not, you can always choose a different pile, but I am going to move on to the next one. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're moving on to the last pile here, the amethyst, and I'm using a couple of different decks. So we're going to start off with the Sacred Power Oracle. And we have personal power, unconditional love, transformation, change, and intuition. So when, you know, you meet people or people, you know, get to know you, what they like about you, things like that, I feel like you have this like power about you, like this strength about you, that's kind of just like a presence in its own. It's like, here I am. And I think people kind of like that about you. You may not always necessarily feel this power that you kind of emanate, but I definitely feel like you're like a force to be reckoned with. Like people, you know, respect that energy. They respect you. They may feel like, you know, they don't want to be on your bad side. I don't think that you're like a mean, nasty person. I just think that you have like an intimidating type of energy for some people. It may, you know, it may not transfer to every person that you meet, but I mean, just look at the energy of this. I feel like there's just like a type of energy for some of you. And people may, you know, be a little intimidated by it, but I think they actually respect it and like it. Some people may wish that they had that power, that strength that you have to kind of show up in this energy. Like I feel like you walk in with your shoulders back, your head held high, you know, able to kind of own a room, and people like, you know, see that about you. You may not feel that way walking into a room, but I feel like people that see you feel that way about you. And then you have unconditional love here. So I feel like even though you have this, strength and this power and this presence, there is an unconditional love about you. And it's like people may, really, really like that once they get to see that inside of this presence is this unconditional love. That is the truth here too, because we have a lot of blue. I feel like you're somebody that's very truthful, very, very open with your communication. Like you don't hold things back. Again, that could be tied into this. It's like sometimes when we just say what we mean and mean what we say, people are like, whoa, they get intimidated by that, because a lot of people struggle to just speak what's on their mind. And I feel like you have an ability to do that for some of you, where it's like your truth just shines through and it's like, whoa. So people get a little like, whoa about it, but they know that it's coming from a place of unconditional love. So they respect the things that you say. They respect you. They know that you're coming from a good, compassionate, loving place. So it's like you have this mothering, nurturing energy. It's like the mom, it's like the mom who's like, don't mess with my kids. Don't mess with my friends. Don't mess with my family. Don't mess with my peeps. I'll be nice to you. I'll nurture you. I'll love you. But if you mess with somebody, you're going to get that rah type of energy from me. So I feel like when it comes to yourself, you may not necessarily be this way, but when it comes to people you care about, you may be a little bit more fierce, or someone that stands up for others more so than yourself. And then we have intuition here. So I feel like you're somebody that's highly intuitive. You could be, like an empath or a starseed, lightworker, whatever. But I feel like your intuition is very strong and heightened, and you may have like moments of just like, I know something's going to happen, or you may have visions, because there's a lot of the third eye color here coming through. But regardless, I feel like people like that you kind of know what's going to go down. It's like, if somebody doesn't know what to do with themselves, if they don't know what's going to happen in their life, they may come to you for advice, or they may come to you to see what you're going to say about something, just to see like what you think about a whole situation that's going on in their world. But I definitely feel like you're highly intuitive, and people notice that about you. They see that like you're aware of stuff that they may not necessarily pick up on, that you have that like, that energy of like the cat on the prowl, like, what, like, you're just aware, your senses are heightened. It's like, I'm gonna get this before it gets me. I'm gonna be there before something else, I'm gonna be there before this thing shows up. Basically, it's like you are always ahead of the game, always like a step ahead of other people, and they actually respect that about you, because it's like they look to you to see what you're doing, how you're reacting to situations, because they know that you're going to be like aware of what's going on before they are. And then we had change and transformation come through. So I feel like you could be somebody that's gone through a major transformation. You may not have always been this way. You could have become a mother. And I know when women become moms, their intuition heightens. It's like they know exactly what their kids are doing, where the kids are. It's like if the kid lied to them at 3:30 on Friday afternoon about whatever, it's like they remember it like 6 years later, and they're like, oh, well, remember when you said this? Like, moms just know. So I feel like you could be a mom that transformed because you had a child. So that unconditional love, that protective, fierce personal power could come from being the mom. And if you're not a mom, you could just kind of embody that divine feminine, mom energy, that nurturing energy that other people flock to be like, what do I do, mom? You may not, because like I have people come to me and ask me things like that they would ask their mom. But I'm not a mom. You know what I mean? So you may have things like that happen, where if you put it into perspective, you may see that if you were a mother, that may be the type of stuff that would happen. Or if the things that get asked to you may be something that somebody would typically ask their mom. But for some of you, you've probably gone through the transformation because you became a mom. And some of you, I feel like you just went through a transformation regardless of why. You're like the phoenix rising through the ashes. So you could have been in a very toxic, manipulative relationship. You could have been in something that was just very like draining and took away a lot of your power, took away a lot of your intuition, or you just stopped trusting your intuition for a while in life. But I feel like the phoenix, you rose through those ashes. You may have burned and, gotten hurt, and things may have not have been as good as they could have been, but I feel like you've risen. And if not, you already have that type of presence anyway. It's like this personal power and this phoenix rising, I feel like are very much similar energy for this, where it's like you just rise above the bullshit. You're not going to get sucked into stuff that you shouldn't. You're going to trust your intuition. you're going to go with the punches. You're going to, just embrace change, because if you fight the change, it's just going to make things more difficult. So I feel like you may not enjoy changing all the time, but I feel like you are changing a lot all the time. Like, you're evolving a lot and you're growing a lot, and people see that about you. People notice that you rise through shit. Like, whatever happens, whatever's thrown your way, you're able to adapt, you're able to change. You can change the scenery, you can change what's going on internally, you can change what's going on externally. So you're just like a little transmutation master here, and somebody that's very powerful at the same time. So let's see what comes through from toxic triggers. We have mindful, which says practice inner peace as well as meditation, search within and find peace, wholeness, and love. So I feel like right now may be a time on your path where you do a lot of this, like, internal. Look at this. This is all yellow and golden energies. I feel like you're really coming into your power right now, and I feel like people see that about you. And I feel like you're relaxed about it. It's like you have all this strength, all this power, all this passion, all this desire, all this, strength, courage, and confidence. But it's like you're not like throwing it in people's faces. You're not being like the ego-centered, like, narcissist about it. It's like that you've got this power, but you use it in a positive way. So I feel like you're very relaxed. You may have found peace again after a very difficult time in your life, and people are drawn to this peaceful, relaxed, energy that you emit. And it says practice inner peace mindful. I feel like you are the mindful one, and people look to you to figure out, how do I become mindful? How do I get that peace that she has? How do I find that wholeness and that love that she seems to be, tapped into for herself? So, or himself, I'm sorry. Sometimes I know there's boys that watch, but I feel like you basically are good here. It's like you're at a good time. Something may have not have been so good not too long ago, but now you're in this place where it's like there's this tranquility around you. You may be needing to slow down a little bit and kind of take it all in, but I feel like you probably are on the go a lot because of just life in general. So they're telling you to just slow down and enjoy this energy, because I feel like you went through enough. And that when you go through stuff, it kind of puts you into that go mode, avoid, run, keep doing. I feel like they want you to take a break and, just calm down a little bit and go into a place of gratitude. It says an attitude of gratitude will transform your paradigm. So I feel like you could have used this to help you. You may be somebody that's very grateful, and people like that about you, that you're not taking things for granted. Because I feel like you've been through some bullshit. You've been through the worst, and you found gratitude, you found peace again, you found how to transform your paradigm. So for some of you, you already, practice this gratitude regularly, but I feel like you still need to slow down, even if you are, because you're probably like, I'm grateful for this, running around like a maniac. But they definitely want you to slow yourself down a little bit, go within, meditate. But I definitely think people like that about you, that you even do this stuff, that you have this peaceful energy about you, that you have this gratitude for life, even though it wasn't always easy for you. You just kind of keep rising up and inspiring people and showing people that it doesn't have to be difficult. They don't have to stay stuck where they are, that they can, change their world when they become mindful, that they just need to be a little bit patient and slow themselves down from time to time, and basically have that peace that you found. So people definitely like the peaceful energies that you're emitting. And then there's depth here. So I feel like you emit a depth about you that, again, people are drawn to. They see something about you that just sucks them in. And again, there's blue here. So I feel like people see this as your truth. Like, they know that you're not lying. They know that you're somebody of integrity. They know that you really, like, walk the talk. Like, there's some people out there who are like, oh yeah, la, 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 but they don't do any of the stuff that they preach. And I feel like you do what you preach. You may not preach it to anybody, but you do what you say you do. And you literally embody, this peaceful, balanced energy, this unconditional, powerful, loving person here. And you've probably had to go through a lot of changes to get to where you're at now. But I definitely think that you are inspiring other people. You're making other people feel alive. You're kind of like a muse for some people, where they look to you to see how you may have done something, or see what you're doing in regards to certain stuff. So, like when COVID hit, people may have looked to you to see how you reacted to it, to see if you were going to freak out or if you were going to be cool, calm, and collected. And I feel like you're the type that even if even if internally there's a little bit of fear or there's a little bit of stuff going on, you don't show it on the surface. You're very, very calm, very deep, and very inspiring to other people. So you could definitely have some people out there that like see you as their muse. They could literally create things like because of you. You know, they could have created paintings or artwork or something. Or you could just have one person that's kind of in that energy for you, because I am seeing a lot of like, you know, love, desire, commitment here. But I feel like people like you know what I mean? Like they desire, like they see you going after what you desire. They see you, you know, and they desire to be like you. This says, I miss the way you taste, those soft lips on my face, the warm embrace, everything you gave. But I feel like this is how people see you. They see you as this desirable, beautiful, you know, muse type of energy. They see you as very deep and intuitive. They see you as transforming and rising. They see you as healing. And I feel like you are a very committed soul. So people like that, like they can depend on you. They know that like if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. This says, until death do us part isn't enough. So I feel like it's like people want to stay in your life. People don't want you to just like up and leave. People want to stick around for the long haul with you because they like what they see with you. They desire to be around you. They want to be inspired by you. And with the I'm so madly in love, I feel like people do fall in love with you. Not necessarily like I'm so madly in love, like marry me type of love, but I feel like people do literally fall in love with you because you speak your truth, because your intuition, because of the transformations you've undergone, because you're peaceful, because you're deep and you have all this depth. And it's like you just kind of emanate this peaceful, you know, tranquility and in this energy that we don't find too often nowadays. It's like everybody's in the running around doing this, doing that, social media, this and that. It's like everybody's looking down half the time, and I feel like there's still a part of you that's very much present on the planet. So it's like you have that depth, you have that ability to balance out, you know, both worlds, like the electronical world that we live in and the physical world that we live in. And people like that about you, that when you love something, you give it attention, you give it time, you commit to it. You don't just like half-ass things. So again, I think you're going through a lot of time of transformation here. So things may not be necessarily easy all the time, but as long as you stay true to yourself and as long as you keep, you know, going within and seeking your answers from inside, I feel like you're going to continue to grow and do good because you have remover of obstacles here. So I feel like things are going to be like getting cleared up for you. Like you may be literally removing obstacles from your life right now, people from your life right now, situations from your life right now. But I also feel like people look at you as the remover of obstacles. They look at you as like that phoenix. It's like, all right, shit just hit the fan, but here she comes. She's going to, you know, remove all these obstacles. And it says chanting and channeling with your voice eliminates suffering and heals blockages for yourself and others. So you may kind of do this like through speaking, through meditation. You could be somebody that like guides meditation for other people, or you could be somebody that just like your voice is very relaxing to others, or you could do something like this where you like channel, you know, guidance to people with the cards, or you just channel without even knowing it. Like sometimes we just kind of channel and bring through energies and frequencies that we're not aware of, and I feel like you kind of do that for a lot of people, and it's helping to remove obstacles not only in other people's lives but in your lives as a, you know, reflection of what you've been doing. Then we have Divine Channel, and it says you connect with and decode frequency from higher dimensional beings. So like I was just saying, I feel like you are a channel. Like you take the higher dimensional frequency, you intuitively take this in, and you turn it into something, whether it's, you know, an outfit, or whether it's something like a reading, or whether it's something like making a child, or whatever it is, any energy and frequency that they give to you, you take it and you transform it and you turn it into something. And I feel like for a lot of you, it may be automatic writing. That's going to be the thing that you know, can default over to when you start receiving those frequencies and energies to help you find the messages that are going to help, you know, eliminate blockages and heal obstacles and just get rid of the things that could be slowing you up on your journey. what this says, channel through writing, decode frequency, deliver messages, and teaching from spirit. So I feel like for some of you, you already write, but some of you may want to start writing more and doing it from that perspective of I'm channeling and seeing what messages are coming in for me and those around me and those I love, and just kind of keep your, intention a little broad in the beginning so that you can bring something in. But I feel like other people like that know you already, they may, like if you already are like a writer, for some of you, they really enjoy what you write, or they just enjoy that you take the time to write, because not a lot of people will bother to sit down with pen and paper anymore. Everybody wants to do everything on their electronical devices. So I feel like you, again, have that depth. You have that old school type of personality. It's like you're still keeping alive some of the things that have died out years ago, things that people don't do anymore. I feel like you're still kind of doing it, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because it seems like the type of stuff that people should be doing. So I feel like you inspire people, to write. You inspire people to channel. You inspire people to remove these obstacles in their world and to rise like the phoenix through the ashes so that they can change, so that you can change. But I feel like other people feel like this too. I feel like other people want to change, so they look to you to figure out how they're going to change. But yeah, I definitely feel like there's a beautiful, tranquil energy that just kind of emits out from you. People really enjoy that. People enjoy this power that you emit as well, the truth that you emit, and the ability to just see, to the future and know things that they don't know. And you're definitely somebody that should be, doing some automatic writing or some trance channeling, or just something where it's like you either speak or write, even if you just write without the intention to automatically write. I feel like you're still kind of automatically writing. You're still bringing in, insight and wisdom and things that you maybe necessarily wouldn't have thought about unless you sat down to write whatever you write. So a journal may be really good for you guys to help with the removing of obstacles, if there are any right now, because I feel like some of you may have already overcome a lot of them. But if you're still stuck in something that's not changing, start journaling and help yourself to remove whatever obstacle or thing is in your way. And, stay in this place of unconditional love for yourself. Stay in your personal power. Keep trusting your intuition, because it's working for you. People are definitely, noticing you, noticing your truth, noticing the love that you share so freely with others. And definitely wanting to go, get into the depths with you. I feel like people want to explore your mind. They want to explore your energy. They just feel drawn to you and that tranquil presence that you have. I feel like the people that you know are very grateful that they know you as well. They're grateful that they've had the opportunity to meet you or to get to know you. They feel mindful when they're in your presence. They feel peaceful. They feel whole. They feel love. They feel, again, inspired. It's like you just make people feel alive. You make people feel good because you're committed to people on a soul level. It's like you don't just up and disappear. You don't just, do things that are not very nice to others. So people definitely have a desire to spend time with you, and a desire to, kind of embody these energies as well. So hopefully that made some sense. If not, you can always choose a different pile, but I definitely would get a notebook out and start writing, or just start speaking what it is that feels like it needs to come out of you, because I feel like that's going to really help, to shift a lot of your reality and things that could be going on in your world right now. But hopefully this assisted you, and thank you very much to everybody for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you want to stick around, you can subscribe to the channel. I will be doing more readings like this, more pick of cards for twin flames and soulmates, and just general readings like that. And I think that is it. Thank you very much to everybody who has donated to the channel. Thank you to those who have purchased my products and my decks, and who support the channel to continue going. And thank you to everybody who sent love and support to me with my last post. And in Munay, namaste.